Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the last part of your lesson sources of energy, that is about nuclear energy. The name itself, nuclear energy, means the energy which we will be getting it from the nucleus, either by fusion or fission. We call it as nuclear energy, means the energy released by either splitting up of a heavy unstable nucleus or by fusion of two or more lighter nuclei is called as nuclear energy. And this nuclear energy will be obtained by two ways. One is nuclear fission and second is nuclear fusion. So this is about the nuclear fission. In nuclear fission, the process of splitting of nucleus of a heavy atom such as uranium 235 into two or more lighter nuclei with a liberation of enormous amount of energy is called as nuclear fission. Means what happens here, we will be taking a uranium 235 and we will be bombarding it with a slow neutron, and this slow neutron will make it unstable and it will be releasing two radioactive elements such as boron, barium and krypton, and it will be releasing three more neutrons, and these three more neutrons will further and will be undergoing for a reaction. So that's such a type of reaction, we call it as a nuclear fission reaction. And this reaction which is a reaction which a particle initiates the reaction is also produced during the reaction and carries out a reaction for further and further to make it self propagating it and continuous is called as chain reaction. So uranium, whenever we are going for a nuclear energy reaction, it may be a chain reaction, it will continuously be taking place. Like if suppose an example, if we want to see, if we are taking uranium 235 and we are bombarding it with a slow neutron, a chain reaction will start, and this chain reaction will be continuous process will be there. Now if you want, it goes like an unending process in this one. If we want to stop this chain reaction, there are two ways to stop this chain reaction. One is we have the fuel, that is uranium U235 has to get completed, or we have to remove the neutrons, then only this reaction is going to stop. As we are talking about removing of neutrons, so based upon this we will be having two types of chain reaction. One we called it as controlled chain reaction, another one is called as uncontrolled chain reaction. This reaction is of uranium 235, a neutron we are bombarding it with one uranium 235 and it is getting splitted into two, that is krypton and barium, and it will be releasing three neutron. These three neutrons will further will be undergoing it with the uranium, and then they will be releasing nine neutrons. So every time it will be replaced by the three, and this reaction will be called it as a uncontrolled reaction. Means here we are unable to control the reaction. So in this reaction, so here we will be having about the controlled reaction and uncontrolled reaction. We can see on the screen controlled and uncontrolled reaction. In uncontrolled reaction, it will be a continuous process going on, and in controlled reaction what we will be doing is, once the slow neutron has bombarded, three more neutrons has released, we will be removing these two neutrons by using the control rods. Here control rods will be like cadmium and barium. Cadmium and barium will be acting as a cadmium and boron will be acting as a control rods, which has the capacity to absorb these two neutrons, and we will be allowing to go for further reaction. It will be only one neutron we will be sending it for further reaction. In every reaction, two neutrons will be removed, and one neutron only we will be allowing it to go for further reaction. So such a reaction we call it as a controlled reaction. In uncontrolled reaction, we will be having the fission which is going is 10 raised to 20 20 uranium atoms will be going for fission in just 1 minute. So you can imagine how much tremendous amount of energy they are going to release. In controlled reaction, we will be allowing only 60 uranium atoms to undergo for fission in 1 minute. The energy which is produced is unmanageable for us. Here the energy which is produced is slow and steady, which we will be managing it. Released energy cannot be used for any useful purpose because we are unable to manage it, so we can't able to use this chain reaction. Here we can able to use the for the useful purposes such as generation of electricity. It is used for destructive purposes, it is used for constructive purposes. We will be using this energy. You can write it down this in your notebook. Then the SI unit for which we will be measuring in the nuclear energy is about electron volt. So 1 electron volt is equals to 1.602 into 10 raised to 19 joule, and 1 million electron volt is equals to 1.6 into 10 raised to 13 joule. So you can keep it in my mind about the units. Now how this nuclear energy is being produced? This is a nuclear power plant or an atomic power plant wherein we can able to see what are the reactors which will be taking place. So here we will be having the first column, which you can see this is a nuclear reactor, a square box like this nuclear reactor will be there. In this nuclear reactor we will be filling it with the uranium 235, and in this uranium chamber of nuclear reactor we will be having three more chambers. One is moderator, as you can see here a moderator is there. This moderator will be why we are using moderator here? It is because the neutron which is releasing the fission of uranium 235 nuclei moves very fast. The speed of this neutron is 42,000 kilometer per second. This neutron will be moving it. So this fast neutron cannot cause fission in uranium 235. Fast moving neutrons are slowed down to about 3 kilometer per second by placing a substance called as moderator. So these moderator we will be having either graphite we will be using it, or heavy water we will be using it as a moderator, which will be moderator is nothing but this is a substance which will be slowing down the speed of the neutron. Second, we will be having a control rods. As we have discussed in controlled reaction, what we were doing it, we will be absorbing the neutron. So here we will be the control rods are used to absorb these extra neutrons. So these extra neutrons which will be there, that will be absorbed either by cadmium or boron rods will be there, they will be absorbing this neutrons. So this is all about the nuclear reactor chamber. Then when after that we will be having an heat exchanger. As you can see here is hot steam water is there. This will be a pump, so hot sodium will be released from this pump, which will be there. The water is will be coming from here, and the steam will be, water is steam, and that steam will be entering into the turbine. The turbine will be rotating it and the heat will be generated. And once this is coming, this steam is coming out, we will be having a coolant chamber will be there, wherein we will be filling it up with the liquid sodium will be acting as a liquid sodium will be acting as a coolant here, and this will be inlet of water, and this will be the outlet of water will be there for us, which will be coming out. So this is how the nuclear reactor will be working in a nuclear power plant. Though we are talking about nuclear power stations here, at present only 3% of the electrical energy is produced in these nuclear power stations for us. Then we are coming for the advantages. The advantages of nuclear energy is it will be having tremendous amount of energy, we will be getting it. It is like 10 million times more energy from a combustion of carbon or coal, we will be getting more energy. Then energy supply is continuous, means like here if we get a handful of uranium, and for our 3 generations the electricity can be produced by this handful of uranium, means energy supply is too much. Once you have loaded it for a long span of time, the reactor is going to continuously produce energy for us. Then pollution gases, it is, and it will not be unlike like fossil fuels or carbon dioxide is, and no greenhouse effect we will be getting, no acid rain because no sulfur dioxide is there for us. So then next is about when we are coming to disadvantages of this, when it is having advantages. So some disadvantages, first is about the expensive installation, means the cost of installation of a nuclear power plant is very high, because we have to use all the materials of there. Then it is of high risk environment contamination, because it is releasing the radioactive element, that is barium and krypton, that is very radioactive element, which is very contaminate for both human as well as plant life. So disposal of this is going to be very great problem for us. Then we will be having risk of accidental leakage, means because of earthquake or a natural calamities or something happens and a leakage will take place in the reactor, then it is not uncontrollable for us. So that is going to become a very dangerous for us. Then we are having limited supply of uranium is there in the nature, so that is also a greatest problem for us to have the nuclear energy. So nuclear energy, first it was used for destructive purposes before we could design for the uncontrolled reactions, controlled reactions. These uncontrolled fission reactions can produce tremendous amount of energy in a very short span of time, which is used for making atom bomb, a deadly destructive nuclear weapon. So now, to know this is all about uranium. An atomic explosion causes rise the temperature, pressure, and release intense blast of x-rays and gamma rays that cause large scale damage for destruction. You might be knowing about the atom bomb which was dropped at Hiroshima in August 6th August, and during the Second World War. Still we are facing the problem of that bomb, so that is going to be a very dangerous for us. Coming to nuclear fusion, in this one, the process in which two lighter nuclei fuse to form a stable heavier nucleus with the liberation of enormous amount of energy is called as nuclear fission. So here we will be using it, the two lighter nuclei of like hydrogen, deuterium or tritium, we will be using it to make a helium stable compound with the release of one neutron, and a large amount of energy will be released in this one. The hydrogen nuclei for fusion, it requires a temperature of near about 4 to 15 million degrees of temperature is required for this fusion. At high pressure, these two neutrons is going to get fused, so creating such a big temperature for them to get fused is required for us. Means here, like nuclear fusion reaction has a result in the production of hydrogen bomb. Hydrogen bomb, what how they will be doing it is like they will be having a nuclear thermonuclear fusion reaction will take place, and the fusion which will be increasing a extremely temperature in order of 10 raised to 7 Kelvin. A hydrogen bomb will be consist of a heavy isotope of hydrogen such as deuterium or tritium along with the lithium. A nuclear bomb is based on the fusion of uranium and plutonium in a core, in a placed at a core of the hydrogen bomb. So this is all about the energy which we are releasing it. So now we have seen all these different forms of energy which is released in the atmosphere, we are using it, but they will be also having some environmental consequences for us. So what are these environmental consequences? The environmental consequences is like, if we are using of fossil fuel, then it is going to have carbon dioxide and greenhouse effect. Fossil fuel will be going for sulfur dioxide, which is again going to for acid rain. When we are coming for incomplete combustion of this fossil fuel, it is going to release a deadly gas, that is carbon monoxide. When we are coming for firewood, it is going to disturb the ecosystem, it leads to deforestation if it is not affected for us. Then if we are coming for construction of dams for hydroelectric power stations, in that one we are disturbing the large ecosystem. Human life has to migrate, animals has to migrate, they have to become render homeless. Then when we are coming to wind energy, because of wind energy it will be affecting for migratory birds on a large scale. Then when we are coming for exploitation from sea energy, at the time we are affecting the marine life, means we are having tidal energy when we are using it, like wave energy is there, ocean thermal energy is there, oscillatory wave motion is there. All these generators we are spending it in the water, so that are also going to get affected for us. The nuclear power plant, when we are coming, this will be releasing the radioactive substance, and this radioactive substance, dispose of these radioactive substance is going to be very dangerous for us. So this is all about your lesson for class 10 of sources of energy. Now I will be giving you the question which you have to write, plus you have to complete the exercise questions and blue questions of this chapter, and you have to submit it to me before Tuesday. So the question for you for this topic will be like, can any source of energy be pollution free? Why or why not? Question is, can any source of energy be pollution free? Why or why not? And second question is, how long will our renewable energy resources last on the earth? The next question is, how long will our non-renewable energy source last on earth? Along with these two questions and your exercise questions and blue questions, you will be submitting it to me before Tuesday. Clear? Stay home, stay safe.